What's up, everybody? It's YouTube Jared333. Like, subscribe, and share the video. Today we're going to be talking about happiness and what does happiness mean. So let's say you're hungry right now, right? So you can't really think about too much but the pain inside of your stomach. So pain is a different story. So we're just trying to stick on the subject of happiness. But we may have to go off a little bit just to describe what I'm talking about so you can understand what is happiness. So happiness works with your mind, right? So just like all emotions, there has to be a balance to your emotions. Meaning, like, how can I put this more simply? It's you have to have a balance. Okay, so working, it makes me happy, right? Working makes you happy, especially if you haven't worked in a while. So why does that happen? Why do you become more happy once you haven't worked in a while? Because you have a sense of doing something or have done something that is productive. So there is value in being productive, and you are happy because you are productive. See, let's say money, right? You say, "Oh, I'll be happy if I have all this money," right? So the main thing about having money and happiness, let's say, um, you're gonna be homeless next month because you don't have any money. You can't pay your rent. You can't pay your lights. You can't pay anything. You can't buy food. So that is going to affect your happiness because in the system, in the world we live in, money buys you food, it buys you electricity, which is your entertainment most of the time, and things like that. Your needs and your wants combined. So that's going to definitely affect your happiness. So if you don't have the money to pay for that, so you need money to pay for your needs, your essential needs, right? You need money to pay for your needs. So, and you need to work to make the money to pay for your needs, both affecting your happiness. Okay, so let's say you have enough money to pay for your bills, right? You're not going to be homeless, but you're just working too much. You're just working to live. That is going to affect your happiness because we're not just made to do work. We do other things besides just working. Like you're working double shift, you're working, 7 days a week, you're going to be very tired. You're not going to be thinking of other things that you may need to think about. You need to be balanced as well in your working. So let's say you're not working enough, you're not making enough hours. You need to make enough money to pay for your bills. But like once again, in this system, it's imbalanced system that we live in. So most of the time you're gonna get like 2 days a week and then, little hours, or you're gonna get 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. You're gonna get most of the time for most people. I'm not saying everyone is the same, but this is how most people are affected by the working system in this time period. So you can be very stagnant also in routine and then be unhappy with that as well. So for instance, let's say you're always paying your bills, or your bills are even fine, but your routine of doing the same thing every day. I wake up at 9 o'clock, I go get Starbucks, and then I go to work for 8 hours. And then your work is balanced, but your routine is always the same, and you are getting kind of tired of that. Then you need to be balanced in your routine. Do something new. Maybe go on a vacation. Maybe travel to the next city. You don't have to go far. I mean, you can if you want to. You can go far. You can go to another state, another country. It's up to you. But what I'm saying is change your routine up. Maybe go somewhere new. Go to the ocean if there's an ocean close by. Go check out, the latest movie maybe. Change your routine and that will help you, and then if you're always eating the same thing, maybe change your diet up. Oh, I want to eat this now. So that will also affect your happiness, your routine. So keep that in mind as well. Many other things will affect your happiness, such as your social life. Your social life will affect your happiness. Oh, my mom and dad hate me, or I don't have any friends, or You need to be able to learn how to feel what your mind and your body need. The more in tune you are with your mind and body, the more you will be able to understand what it is that I'm talking about if you don't understand what I'm talking about. So being in tune with your mind and body has also to do with balancing all of these things out. Your social, your economic, and your body. Exercise also has to do with your health. Your health is a huge part of your happiness, you know. So before I get into the health, let's talk about real quick, the difference between the rich and the poor. And we can go extreme. Let's say a homeless person, right? They have all the time in the world. They have a lot of friends, homeless friends. They have certain things that rich people may not have, like, basically time. I mean, some rich people have time. So we're talking extreme. So a lot of rich people, they do have time. So the rich person has time, they have a lot of money. So they, to other people, may seem very happy. But that's not always the case. A lot of rich people, they don't have what I've seen like a spiritual side. A spiritual side is also needed for your happiness. A spiritual side is needed to help complete your happiness. Okay? So, a lot of homeless that I've seen, they all have, a God. They're very religious, usually, most of the time. Most of the ones that I've talked to and I've seen, they always have something on a spiritual level. Sometimes too extreme, and then they're very crazy and stuff like that. But, we're talking about like normal homeless people. But a lot of rich people, okay, there's very difference between the rich person that makes all the money if they're a couple and the person that's just at home and hanging out with the friends. Usually the wife, and usually the husband is making all the money. So usually the husband is very indulged in the business, and everything is business usually, and money and business and money, which could also be a burden to your happiness, because if you're making something redundant or a circle around one subject, so that has to change. And then the wife's scene has to change if she's unhappy and always going through the same things with friends, and she's going out. You can see it. You can see it if you use your mind's eye. You know what I'm saying? You're doing the same thing, and you have all this money. What is your progression? Progression in life is a powerful thing. It's a key, and it's also happiness. You find a lot of happiness in progression. I mean, hanging out with friends all the time and going shopping. I'm talking, you've seen maybe the TV shows, the women of it, the wives of Atlantis, or different wives of the basketball players, of stars, and they're always getting into gossip and fighting. They seem very unhappy, and they seem very fake to me. They seem very fake and unhappy, and they have crappy lives for having so much money. On the other hand, you could be very stupid with your money. In my eyes, this one guy, he became very wealthy, and Ty Lopez talked about this a few times. He said, "Oh, my friends had a spiritual revolution, and they gave all their money away to charity and this and that." I mean, you don't have to do that. That's a little extreme in my eyes, but you can. You do whatever you want. And I mean, money isn't everything, though. But when money takes care of your basic needs, your necessities, your rent, your car, what you believe is your necessities, because some people, their necessities can be misconstrued. Their necessities can be miscalculating. Their necessities can be like, let me give you an example. Let's say my necessity is my lights, and in the United States, everybody's necessities is their lights, right? But let's say you go to a third world country, their necessities isn't their lights. Their necessities is their food. You see what I'm saying? I don't have food today. I need my necessities. I mean, it would be nice. A lot of times they have lights. It would be very nice if they had running water, because they have to go walk 10 miles a day to go get some water. You see what I'm saying? So to them, maybe our necessities are misconstrued. But, to each his own, because you're creating your own perceptions. perception of what you need and what you think you need are two different things. But if you figure out what the difference is, then you maybe understand more of basically where we live in the United States. Having lights and having running water and paying your bills like your rent, your water, your lights, your electric bills, your normal bills is a necessity, right? And so, once your money pays for these necessities, you may have a hard time trying to find its proper place for the money, because money goes where you tell it to go, right? So if I'm going constantly on vacations, every other month I'm going on vacation, that's vacations can be very, very beneficial for you as a person, especially if you're going somewhere new, because new experiences can help you evolve or become a better person, help your mind to think in different ways. The more different ways you teach and you train your mind to think and to learn, the more perception, the more depth your perception powers have, and the more different minds, the more different eyes you can see with your mind. Does that make sense? So let's say I only know about one color, the color red. Although I know about the color red, it's still only one color. So if I know more about the other colors, blue, green, yellow, purple, brown, orange, the more my understanding may increase about colors. Maybe that's a bad metaphor, simile, whatever. Let me see if I can think of something else here. Oh man, let's go back to the languages. So the more languages you learn, the more you can think in different ways about a subject. So maybe that's a better one. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video about happiness. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. My Patreon account is going to be in the description below. It's only $3 a month for a shout out every month on this channel. We're now at 4,238 subscribers, so you'll get a shout out a month for only $3 a month, or you can just support the channel for $1 a month if you can. That would be awesome, you guys. Thank you once again. Peace out.